What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Francisco, but you can call me Franco. Let's talk about webcams. So a while back, I went out into the wild world and I bought myself an Elgato Facecam MK2. This right here cost me $150. This is a phenomenal webcam. This camera is $180, $30 more than the $150 MK2 Facecam by Elgato. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to try and be as succinct and as brief as I possibly can. This camera absolutely cooks the Facecam MK2. And there's several reasons why. So let's get right into it. So the first and most obvious area where the Tiny Lite 2 gets points over the Facecam MK2 is going to be in size. Both of these cameras are built of plastic. They're both very well built. They both have mounting systems to mount them on top of your monitors. So not one or the other overtakes it in that regard. But when it comes to size, this thing, as the name implies, is incredibly small. It is tiny. It's a very discreet webcam, and I absolutely love that, as opposed to the Facecam MK2, which is a bit more dominant, more prominent. It's a big camera. It's almost obnoxiously big when you compare it to the Tiny Lite 2. And although it's not necessarily an issue either for or against either camera, when I'm looking at my setup constantly, and I have to really, be thoughtful about the space that I'm using because I have limited real estate that I'm working with, if I can get a smaller device that already outperforms a much larger device, I'm gonna go with the smaller one, for sure. So out of the two images that you can see right now, which one of these two do you think looks better? Is it gonna be this one, or that one? In order to make this as fair as humanly possible, the values for contrast, sharpness, and saturation are the same for both cameras, as well as the white balance. The only thing that I couldn't keep the same was ISO and shutter speed, which you are able to, by the way, adjust both ISO and shutter speed for both of these cameras. Knowing all of that, because what you're looking at right now is what these cameras can look like with a little bit of adjusting, plug and play right into your computer, which one of these two do you think is the best? Are you ready to find out the truth? Are you ready for the truth? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. So this camera right here is the OBSBOT Tiny Lite 2, and this one right here is the Facecam MK2 by Elgato. This is what both cameras look like right out of the box, plug and play. I think that both cameras look fairly good right out of the box with a little bit of adjusting, but as I said in the past, and you're gonna see some changes over here, okay, so bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the LUT right now. We're starting with the Facecam. So the LUT is now on over here. And then we're gonna go ahead and move on over to the OBSBOT Tiny Lite 2 and turn the LUT on right here. And now the LUT's on over here, all right? Now, LUT's applied, no color correction used in OBS, only the adjustments made in both cameras' respective applications. Now, which one do you think looks the best? Is it the OBSBOT Tiny Lite 2 or is it the Facecam MK2 by Elgato? This is where things can get a little subjective because you might think that the OBSBOT Tiny Lite 2, which is what you're looking at right now, looks better than the Facecam MK2. And you might think that the Facecam MK2, which is what you're looking at right now, looks better than the OBSBOT Tiny Lite 2. I personally think that the OBSBOT Tiny Lite 2 looks a lot better than the Elgato Facecam MK2. Now, the Elgato Facecam MK2 is a good looking webcam, don't get me wrong, but there is one thing that the OBSBOT Tiny Lite 2 does that the Elgato Facecam MK2 does not do. It has the ability to capture 4K 30 FPS, which is what you're looking at right now. Now, it's not 4K. This is the 4K image downscaled to 1080p for the purposes of the video, of course, but you can capture 4K footage with a $180 webcam, but you can't do that with a $150 one. As a matter of fact, if you wanted to do that with Elgato, you'd have to pay damn near $300 for the Elgato Facecam Pro to be able to capture 4K 30. Now, why in the world would that be such a big deal? And how does it benefit you to capture at 4K as opposed to 1080p? Well, for those of you who are out there in a streaming world, if you have your camera as an overlay and you encounter a dramatic moment in a game that you would like to zoom in on your face, for example, if you try to do that with a 1080p image, it can result in a lot of blurriness and some like messed up textures and fuzzy looking images, which doesn't really look that great to begin with. But if you take a 4K video image and you downscale it to 1080p, it results in less blurriness, which is why whenever I stream on Twitch every now and then, every once in a blue moon, I use the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite, capturing at 4K, but I downscale it to 1080p in OBS. And when I have to do a scene where my face is a lot more zoomed in on, it creates a much cleaner image, which is all of that summed up to say that when it comes to the video and the quality of the video, the Tiny Lite 2 absolutely destroys the Facecam Mark II in my opinion. And even more so when you have to consider the fact that this camera costs $150 and for $30 more at $180, you get 4K capture, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. Now let's compare some of the other features that both of these cameras bring to the table. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Facecam Mark II. Now you already know the Facecam Mark II captures at 1080p 60 FPS, which is fantastic. But did you also know that you can incorporate the Camera Hub software with the Stream Deck Plus and use that to control the pan tilt zoom of the Facecam Mark II. So we're gonna go ahead and pan it here by turning some dials, and we're gonna go ahead and tilt by turning a different dial. We can even control our zoom. So right now we're all the way to 100%. And if we start going in a little bit more, let's see how close can I get before I feel like the image is a little weird. So like right there, I feel like I'm already seeing some blurriness right here. And we're at 255%. It's definitely very blurry, but still kind of, you can still obviously make out who I am and what I am, and it's not really that bad. I need a haircut, dude, god dang. All right, so let's go back. Right here, you're able to also set presets, okay? Now, the Facecam Mark II has 4 preset options in the Camera Hub software. So we got preset number 1, or A, as it is in the software, B, C, and D. Hi. The other thing that we want to note about the Facecam Mark II is that it is a fixed focus camera. All right, you're able to zoom digitally with the camera itself, but as far as focus is concerned, you have to sit within a certain range of the camera to be in focus. If you are within that range of the camera, you are in focus. If you step outside of that range, you are not in focus, like at all. Hi. Again, now, as far as the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite, things get a little different, but not by much. Number one, as you can already tell, because I can see it here in my preview, I am a little bit out of focus, and that is because this camera is not a fixed focus camera for compared to the Facecam Mark II. It does have autofocus. So I had to put my hand in here, let it hunt my hand down, take it away, and then bam, now I'm in focus. This camera is somewhat susceptible to focus hunting, okay? And that's when the focus is lost on you, the subject, and it tries to find you and hunt you down. And you can kind of see like the camera going in and out of focus. It's very brief. It doesn't happen too often. I've seen other webcams that are way worse at it. So I'll give it some points for that. But the fact that the Facecam Mark II has fixed focusing, actually I think works in its favor when it comes to focus, okay? The other thing that we're able to do with the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite is one of the most notorious things that OBSBOT is known for are the fact that a lot of their webcams come on their own little gimbal. So if we turn on normal tracking, if I start to move, the camera will follow me. For example, let me just go ahead and stand up. Actually, it's the most obvious way to show you. Hi, how you doing down there? Nice to meet you, okay? I sit back down and the camera follows me once more. Really cool that you do that. I think that's really awesome for those of you who like to stream and play some sort of competitive game. You get very excited, you get very hyped. Maybe you finally beat the final boss of the DLC for Elden Ring, and you just jump out of your seat, start moving around your room out of pure excitement, happiness, dread, and joy, and sadness, and depression, and every possible other emotion that that game, especially that last boss, will evoke from you. And the camera will be able to follow you around, which is fantastic. It kind of keeps everything dynamic, if you will. We are also able to do presets. Now, unlike the Camera Hub software, where it gives you the option of 4 presets, the OBSBOT Center application only gives you 3 presets. We got preset 1, preset 2, and preset 3. And if you're wondering why the angles are different, it's because I've literally got the camera placed elsewhere as opposed to where I have it when I typically stream. But there you go. This camera has presets just like the other one. It just has one less. We do have a view and gimbal wheel scroll thing that we're able to use here. So I can literally just click and tell the gimbal to move up, down, to the sides right here. You can kind of dial it in. It is a little annoying to use this method to dial it in because sometimes the clicks don't register. Like right now, I'm clicking on the down and it's barely registering, and some of them were missed, to be honest with you. So once you set everything up, you can just save it as a preset and you're good to go. We also do have digital zoom, just like the Elgato Facecam Mark II. We're gonna go ahead and go up to a 1.5, which is 150%, and ta-da! there we go. Now, I had mentioned earlier that because you're capturing in 4K, that the image will look a lot cleaner when you zoom in as opposed to how it would look when you do it on a camera that's capturing at 1080. And we're gonna put that theory to the test, or we're gonna put that to the test. So 150% zoom, 1.5x zoom on here, 190% over here is giving me about the same image over here as far as how close it is to me. And I feel if my OBS preview is telling me the truth, I honestly feel like the Facecam Mark II actually looks a little clearer. Let me know in the comments below which one looks cleaner zoomed in like this. Is it the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite or is it the Elgato Facecam Mark II? Now, another cool feature about the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite is the fact that you're able to control some of the pan, tilt, and zoom by using your hands. So for example, right now motion tracking is turned off. So if I were to stand up, get up, and walk around, the camera's not going to see me unless I'm all the way back here, right? But it's not following me. It's not checking to see where the hell I'm going at all. Instead, I have to walk back into frame just so you can see that I'm still here and that I have not abandoned you, okay? But if I want the camera to follow me, I simply hold up my hand, wait for the camera to start blinking. It turns the light green to blue. And now, if I were to get up, it will follow me. So let's check this out. Let's see. And there we go. Hi, how you doing? Good talking to you. Perfect. So we come back to our chair, we sit down. There's no longer a need for me to move around, so therefore I don't need the tracking on anymore. I just simply put my hand back up. Sometimes it takes a minute, and there we go. Now it's off. So now if I get back up, it will not follow me whatsoever. Now the other thing that you're able to do is you're able to have the camera zoom in and out, right? So for example, if I want the camera to zoom in right now, I just hold an L right next to my head, and it zooms in. Cool thing here is that you're able to predetermine how much of a zoom it actually does. So it starts off, I believe, at 200%, which is pretty aggressive. I brought it down to 139%. But maybe I don't want you all up in my face all the time, so I'm gonna put it back up, the L, and bam, we're back out here. At the end of the day, here's the thing. The Facecam Mark II is not a bad camera at all. It's a really good webcam. It's a solid webcam. If all I had was 150 bucks, and if the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite did not exist, I would 1000% recommend the Facecam Mark II. But the fact of the matter is that the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite does exist, and it is only $30 more. And for $30 more, you get pan tilt zoom, AI controlled motion tracking. You have a great application, a great app that allows you to color correct, white balance, ISO, shutter speed, all the same things that the Camera Hub software does for the Elgato Facecam Mark II, the OBSBOT Center does for the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. But you also get 4K 30 FPS. And on that one feature alone, the fact that you can take this tiny, discreet, beautiful little camera and purchase it for $30 more than this camera right over here, it's a no-brainer. The OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite would be the camera I would buy today if I had to pick between this one or this one. And again, I want to reiterate, that's not to say that the Facecam Mark II is a bad camera, because it's not, but for just a few bucks more, the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite is just that much better, if not more. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like, follow, subscribe, leave comments down below, ask me any questions that you have. Until next time, be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Peace out.